Thank you for being there. And right now I'm being joined by Habib Gajo, who is a public affairs analyst. He joins me live in the studio to help us make sense out of what played out in the Senate chamber yesterday. It's a pleasure to have you. Good evening, and thank you for coming.
Evening, Messi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, let's begin. I believe you've been seeing the videos all over the social media yesterday, and you just, of course, take a look of what played out in the Senate yesterday. Help us make sense out of all of this. Give us a better understanding. Has the Senate been fair enough to Senator Natasha Akpabio?
Well, the Senate is an institution of democracy and one of the arms of government, executive, legislature, and judiciary. So their role is to check and balance. But if a Senate or a National Assembly turn themselves into a tyrant, fighting among themselves, accusing themselves, suspending themselves unnecessarily, that's undemocratic. They are out of their way. You understand? They need to check what the presidency is doing. Today, the presidency, the executive, is doing more harm to our economy, our security, our social well-being, our education, our health care, and so on and so forth, our electricity. But the Senate will not look that way and make the executive to come to the aid of Nigerians. Rather, they are fighting a good senators and House of Representatives that we voted to go and represent us. It did not start with Natasha. It started with many. You understand? Some challenge the validity of, some challenge the integrity of even the president of the Senate to suspend or to expel or to investigate most of the things that surround him. You understand? You know, there is issues that are burden to the principal officers. You understand? Not the Senate per se. So this issue is centered with the principal officer of the Senate, and he won't preside over a case against him.
All right, just give me a moment. You have to take this short break, and when we return, you continue with your analysis. We'll be right back.
Right.
Welcome back, and I'm still being joined by Habib Gajo. You were saying something before we went on that short break, but I was going to ask before we went on the break. You said what happened in the Senate yesterday was undemocratic and unlawful. But then every institution has a rule that guides it as an institution. And according to the Senate, Senator Natasha Akpabio was found guilty of misconduct, violating one of the rules that is guiding the Senate as an institution. So what would you have, how would you react to that?
Who formulated the rules and the guidelines of the Senate?
Of course, members of the Senate.
So Natasha is one of them. Akpabio is one of them. Let me tell you, you see, people don't seem to understand how people go to Senate or House of Representatives. We elect them to go and represent them. All of them, they are equal senators and members of the House of Rep. You understand? But along the line, they said, vote somebody who will preside over 100 or 300 and something people. Have you ever watched House of Commons in United Kingdom? Do you see where the Prime Minister sits? Anywhere. He don't have a personal seat or spared seat. They sit randomly. European Union, they sit randomly. America, they sat through committees. Why in Nigeria you will now allocate seats? How? You are elected, I'm elected. You are elected from Kogi State, he is elected from Akwa Ibom to come and represent the good people of Akwa Ibom in Nigerian lawmaking. And you now said you are allocated seat. What the rule says is very clear. Press your mic and I will answer you. You understand? They have business of the day. Everybody will go and write what he want to present. You understand? Whether it's a bill, whether it's whatever, you understand? But it's there. So if the presiding officers seems to decline some members intentionally, pushing them back and back and back from 2 days to 3 days to 1 week to 1 month, and you expect that lawmaker to keep quiet. She was not elected to come and represent. She is appointed. But as long as she is appointed, she is elected, definitely she will fight against tyranny in the Senate. Because what is happening today in Senate is worse than tyranny. Tyrannical leaders, more than the emperors. So I hail Natasha for coming out to say the truth, and Nigerians have seen it, not today, not tomorrow. Why only a Senate president suspend Ali Ondume, suspend Abdul Ningi, suspend who again? Suspend Natasha, and abuse everybody in the Senate? Is he a super senator or a what? Today, if he has been impeached or removed, tell me, where is he going to sit? Inside his colleagues. Today, where is Ahmed Lawal? In the Senate.
Colleagues.
He is with his colleagues. He will raise her 10 times until the Senate president gave him. So they need to think. You understand? They need to be positive. This is not we elected them to go and tell, or to go and do the drama. We want to check and balances. Why we don't have electricity? Why we don't have a standard transportation? Why our education is declining? What president is doing and the service chiefs as a commander-in-chief about security? How Nigeria will be secured? But you are telling me beer parlor, dance club, I invite you, you know what you're supposed to do, and it's not your seat, you go back to your seat before I allow you to talk. Where? Is that what we elected them for? Definitely not. So, whether they suspended Natasha based on misconduct, they are also accused of also misconduct, because what the accusation against Natasha and Akpabio, both of them, if you put them together, is all misconduct. If a Senate president would deny a senator, elected senator, to speak for more than 1 month, is another misconduct from the presiding officer who happened to be Senate President Akpabio. So what are they saying? For Akpabio to challenge the senator is another misconduct. If Akpabio recused himself and stepped down and said, Deputy Speaker, preside over, you understand? We will not accuse him of misconduct. But you want to be a judge in your own court, you understand? Definitely something is fish. So all those senators that gathered and passing vote of no confidence on Natasha, all of them, we knew how Senate President during the ministerial screening was sending a prayer emails and alert to the whether email or short message alert, and that diminished his credibility. Whatever you are going to say, I'm sorry, he is also guilty of misconduct.
All right, viewers, at this point our phone lines are now open for you to call in to join the conversation while we proceed. Okay, now there seems to be a contradiction of laws here. While the Constitution is saying that the National Assembly duty shall be subject to the jurisdiction of the court, I beg your pardon, the Nigerian Senate has maintained that it has rules. Now, I want to understand what did the law say about suspending, or how the suspension of a senator should go? And we even saw that the law say that a senator cannot be suspended more than 14 days. That's 2 weeks, 14 working days. But here we have Senator Natasha being suspended for 6 whole months. That's a lot for the people of Kogi Central.
That is why I said the principal officers are also guilty of misconduct. For example, first of all, tell me, is there any law of the Senate that is above?
Give me a moment, Mr. Gajo. We have someone here. Hello, good evening. If you can hear me, good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Patrick, calling from Benue State.
Patrick from Benue, please go ahead.
I think Natasha received a lot of sympathy from Nigerians, but she was emotional.
Okay.
She was emotional in her presentation.
Okay.
She allowed her emotion to take over reason. She should have presented her issues reasonably. No matter what, leadership, Senate, Nigerian Senate or National Assembly, they had their own leadership. And she should have respected their leadership. We are not saying Akpabio is right.
Okay.
But he is representing a state and also women. And Nigerians are also interested in what was happening, including her guests. So she should have played a role of leadership, because she is a leader. But the way she acted If that suspension is not included, it will give room for other legislatures that such behavior should be. So my take is that yes, the 6-month suspension is much, but she was not reasonable enough. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gaju, please go. Okay, we have this other caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Glad to have you on the show. Please, you have 60 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah. Please, the way senators are now doing is not for me. Nigeria is advanced more than the senator to suspend another senator. It doesn't speak well of Nigeria. They are laughing at us.
Okay.
I am calling from Canada, far border with Nigeria and Benin.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
So, Mercy,
Yeah.
are you telling me that Senate rules is above the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that establish the Senate itself,
Exactly.
establish the executive, establish the judicial arms of government? So the National Assembly are over it. What is the rule says? Let us be honest to ourselves. If you check all the rules, 10 years, you will be a senator, 10 years, you will not understand what the rules are. During Saraki was accused of changing the rules. Have you forgotten? We can rubbish our senators. If you list from the House of Representatives to the Senate, how many were suspended illegally? Is Ali Ndume that challenged his suspension in the court, that court rules that you cannot suspend a lawmaker more than 14 days. Dino Malai was suspended during in the House of Rep by Speaker Bankole. Have you forgotten that? A lawmaker will enter a chamber with a gun, a knife. A lawmaker died in the floor of the House of Representatives here in Nigeria. Had the cause to fight for the right of their people. Guns were fired for not allowing a lawmaker to speak. He pulled out his gun and he shot. Everybody went down. He said, I want to talk. They said, talk. Is that the type of Senate we want now? 21st century? You understand? So they should be very careful. The little women we have in the Senate and the National Assembly, in the Senate there are only 4. Before there were more than 4. What happened? All this kind of discrimination. How can you push a senator to somewhere where you will not have her, there is no microphone, even camera will not capture her, nobody will listen to her, and you said she should talk from there.
All right.
And she was talking, you refused to give her access.
Hello, good evening. Glad to have you join us on the program.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. I can hear you. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Joseph Iwabu. I'm calling from Port River State.
All right. Please go ahead.
Yes, what I want to say, what is happening in the Senate? In fact, I don't know what they are doing there, but they are too corrupt. They are too corrupt. If you check out what is happening in other countries, you see that any protest, like I saw women protesting there before the National Assembly primacy. If at all it's in other countries, the Senate or the people there supposed to investigate the matter, and even the person in question supposed to resign. But in Nigeria here, they do it anyhow they like. It's too bad. It's too bad.
Right.
This is the people that we are looking on to. but they are not doing what they're supposed to do as the people, the lawmakers. So
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you very
That's
much.
my own contribution.
Yes, thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm Emmanuel David from Kaduna State.
Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Okay. What this man is saying to you is a very, I'm with him 100%. That is the truth. Today, our leaders, they are very, they know the rules, they do the thing way, they do the thing what they like to do. And now God will judge them.
Okay. All right.
One person will sit down one day, and Senate.
All right. But then I want to understand. We can see the reactions of Nigeria since this, not even before now, and we all know that the Senate is a serious institution that makes law that guide the nation, and check and balance on how the affairs of the nation is being run. But then today, a lot of Nigerians don't even seem proud of what is going on in the National Assembly, both the Senate and House of Rep. But then how can we get over all this? How can we bring back the integrity of an institution we know to be Senate, which is supposed to be a very serious institution?
You see, that institution stinks.
It stinks.
Honestly. We are practicing presidential system of government. Our vice president is supposed to be the Senate president. You understand? But in our own case, the reverse is the case. We have to spend money, buy senators in order to have a presiding officer called Senate President. Sometimes President even intervene, like the case of Akpabio. We all aware how the President intervened and he became a Senate President. So it's not our Senate President, it's not a Nigerian Senate President.
He's what? What is he?
He's a President
of the President.
Yes.
Senate President of the President.
Yes, because he elected him single-handedly. And he said everybody should support him. So what are we talking? The same thing with the Speaker. So we don't expect anything good from them. They stink. Unless if proper election has been conducted. You understand? And the National Assembly autonomously or independently elected their principal officers. In 1999 in Mwara, when he started rubbish, they kicked him out. They brought Chuba Okadibo. He wanted to run with the mace. They kicked him out. Who again? Wabara was kicked out. You understand? You can't mess with them. In the House of Rep, Salisu Buhari forged Toronto certificate. He was kicked out. Galina Abba came in and ended that 1999 to 2023. That was a good assembly. That was a good Senate. You understand? But today, do you think you have people with mind and qualitative people that will look at the president in his face and tell him the truth? I remember David Mark when he was a Senate president. Abdul Rashid Mena, they invited him, refused committee, invited him. The third one, they now heard that he is traveling with the president, he's inside president convoy, inside president jet. David Mark wrote a letter to the president directly, said you either choose the Senate or you stay with Abdurrashid Mena. The next day, the presidency brought Abdurrashid Mena to the Senate to answer his question. It speaks volume. But we are here. They are corrupt. They are this. Natasha did not do well. Akpabio did not. Akpabio was supposed to resign honorably for this heavy accusation. No matter how he will induce or he will send emails to the Senate to support him, the truth remains the truth. Truth is like a goat.
Give me a moment, but what's the truth? But before you take that question, let me hear from this consistent caller. We've had him as a... Good evening.
Hello,
good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show.
Yeah, this is Hamza Adamu. She's calling from Kenya.
All right, please go ahead.
Mr. Gajo, I am impressed of your analysis of this issue of Natasha. I'm very, very impressed. You have taught lots of things.
Thank you.
I can recall that
the report of the committee, senators keep trying to highlight their grievances on the level of...
Yes.
I think we are having... Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we are having the most dictatorial legislature now.
Okay.
And this is it is rather unfortunate that at least even the dictate can be elected on elected members and she was elected. This is very unfortunate. I think this is the ridicule of democracy that we are seeing in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening. So I want to understand what do you say is the truth, or what do you think is the truth?
The truth is Natasha is not the first accuser. There is a woman of NDDC that even accused, not even inflating contracts and trying to seduce her, and she even slapped him. It's not the first time. That is why I say he should resign honorably. Then he was a minister. Nobody elected him. He was appointed by the president. Okay. But now he is in an elective office. If you try this, no matter how number of prayers and the alert prayers in the email will not save him. Those people he gathered that are accusing Natasha for misconduct in a clear setting of group of people, definitely you must have one that will stood up and say the truth. But look at the way
but nobody stood up yesterday. Out of 109 senators, excluding Natasha, Senator Natasha, who was suspended, nobody stood up to at least oppose her suspension. Out of 109, maybe some didn't come, but then we couldn't see any single opposition of suspension.
That is why something is wrong. There is no way 109 senators will sat and vote all
pray.
Yes, pray all at the same time. Something must have gone down the drain or through the pipeline. There is no single opposition that say, hey, look, this woman she's saying something, and we have precedents of the Senate President and doing, there is allegation and allegation. We need to investigate more. There is more to see. We need to have like 10 to 5 senators out of 109. You understand? So definitely there is something, like I said, like he used to say, Akpabio himself, you will see your prayer in your email.
Good evening. I'm glad to have you on the show. Good evening. All right, Emmanuel David, please go ahead.
This one is very, very 100% true. That what he said.
Okay.
You understand, representative? Even my senator today, Senator Representative Kaduna, I don't know where he is. Since we fought him, Master Sunday Masha, we don't know where it is. Nothing he has done in the PDP. And today,
you say his name is what?
So far, yeah?
You say his name is what? Come again. Hello, are you there?
I'm there.
What did you say the name of the senator is again?
Sunday, Honorable Sunday Masha.
Okay, from Kaduna what? Kaduna South or Kaduna North?
Southern Kaduna.
Okay.
Then the issue of Senator representing Kogi Central. Senator Natasha. That woman, she's an 100% senator, and we love her. Whatever it is, this senator they're supposed to drop this senator. He did the thing way no good for Nigeria.
Okay.
We didn't like what he done. Number 4 in Nigeria, supposed not to do what when they carry and go Natasha place. I think they had this thing come up now. They want him to represent Nigeria, to do a good thing to Nigeria. What takes him to Natasha? Whatever Natasha do to him, and this suspension when he give this woman, if you not carry that woman back, the thing will not go good for us. Between we the four masses with Nigerians, he's supposed to carry that woman back.
Okay. Thank you.
If you suspend that woman, do not good.
All right. Thank you.
Do not good, and we will not like it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right. Have yourself a great evening. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. If you can hear me, please, you have 60 seconds to enable others join the conversation, and kindly tune down the volume of your TV set. Hello, good evening. Please, when you call the number displayed on your screen, kindly tune down the volume of your TV set so we could hear you from this end. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Glad to have you on the show. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling us from. Okay. Please go ahead.
All right. Based on this issue, if you look at it, there's a lot of controversy and a lot of corruption happening in the Senate chamber right now.
Please tune down the volume of your TV set.
All right. There's a lot of corruption happening right now in the Senate chamber.
Okay.
Akpabio is not supposed to be the one to judge his case.
Okay.
Good.
It has never happened, and it should not be allowed to happen. It's not supposed to happen. If this continues, what these leaders are doing, they are provoking the youth. And when the youth backfired, it won't be easy. Even the wife of the president, there was a video of her shouting at her own senator. Senator Abu, we have records. The session, they have records. So, and number 2, Ahmed Lawan, the senator representing Yobe, made a statement. There is no way you will withdraw her security. It's not supposed to happen. If anything should happen to this woman, that means that Akpabio will be irresponsible for that. And 108 senators will also be irresponsible.
All right.
Because it's life. We need to take action on that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and have yourself a great evening. Hello, good evening. Please, you have 60 seconds before we call it a wrap. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is
Your name is what? Okay, please go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that Natasha,
Could you please tune down the volume of your TV set? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Please tune down the volume of your TV set.
I can hear you. I said, are you hearing me now?
I can.
So I said, since Akpabio assumed office as next president, that man has been so proud of that office, and because he treated it lightly, he came indirectly to get that office. The man is misusing the office.
Okay.
that woman Natasha should be called back to the office and pay her compensation, because the woman is right.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. Now, Mr. Gajo, before we call it a wrap, how does this affect the leadership? When we talk of, we've seen several times where people lament about leadership position, how the women are being discriminated or being held back in political offices. And now, looking at this happening, there are just 4 female senators out of 109 senators. Now, one has been suspended. And we're just going to sit and watch how this goes, because just like you said, the law said that no senator can't be suspended or should be suspended less than 14 days. So let's see. And of course, Senator Natasha has taken it to the judiciary. Let's see what the judiciary do or will do from their own end. But then, how does this, or how would this affect women in leadership? And talking about gender equity, how does this current occurrence affect all of this in general?
You see, first of all, the women that came to the Senate, none of them was a principal officer. Even minority or minority whip or minority leader or deputy minority whip, none was
given a principal officer position.
Is so pathetic. It's so disheartening to the level that the Nigerian Senate cannot fill in the representation. Women were sidelined. And in the case of the Senator Akpabio, it's not only Natasha that started accusing him. Many has accused him before Natasha. And after Natasha, another woman will also accuse him. You understand? Because that's his way. So that is why we are saying he either resign honorably or his colleague should look inward and look at their integrity before Nigerians and the institution of the National Assembly to impeach him or to remove him.
All right.
That's the only way to have a good National Assembly. But as of now, Akpabio has rubbish National Assembly.
So you, Akpabio is the problem we have in the leadership of National Assembly.
As of today.
Both the Green Chamber and the Red Chamber.
It did not happen during Saraki. It did not happen during Ahmed Lawal. It did not happen during my good friend from Benue, David Mark. It has not happened during the pious IM and so on and so forth. It does not happen during their time. You understand? Because they are men of integrity. They are men with substance and quality. You understand? They knew what brought them to the Senate, and they always go for a very good decision making, and whatever they are going to do is on merit. But a Senate that abandoned the national issue, talking about Sudan woman, I'm not Sudan. She lied to me. I know she is right, she is wrong.
Thank you so much. Habib Gajo, it's been wonderful having you. Thank you very much for your time. Unfortunately, our time is up, and this is where we have to draw the curtain. Thank you so much for watching, and keep watching Kaftan Television. Until we'll come your way some other time, I am Messi Emelite, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.